I don't know. I don't hear anything. So
Uh-oh.
whatever. Here we are.
Whatever. Hey, we're live. I'm Steve Metrics. That's your boy.
DJ Triggs.
And together we are Nodb8sports. Here on the last week of July, creeping into August, we got the beginning of NFL training camps. We had some WNBA All-Star action last week. We have some LeBron, Luka Lakers stuff going on. And yeah, we're getting into fantasy football time of year. And hey, you got the Lakers shirt. What's happening?
I have no idea why I had to find my Lakers shirt, but the one thing I did find that was completely bananas. All right. Hold up.
What do
We
you got?
talked about well, I mean, everyone talks about how Luka's out of shape. Luka does this, Luka does
Yep.
that.
Yep.
My man. Uh-oh. Look at Luka right now. Luka
Yeah,
is in the lab.
Yeah, I mean, we'll
And
we'll
then
see, man.
I mean, he's in the lab working out. He's trying to get shredded, put the LeBron body on. I mean, look at this.
Okay.
Luka's Luka's in the lab doing damage. I mean, I love that they put pads under the so when he drops the weight that it doesn't smash the floor. But like, who's gonna tell me that Luka can't do it right now?
He's gotta show that he can play defense. That's the biggest thing, man. Like I have not seen the defense out of this guy. I've not seen the real full game hustle out of the guy. He can light it up to a degree, but to me, he really emanates to me more of a gameplay that is more or less Carmelo Anthony. That's really what I see from him.
I mean, does he have to play defense if you got Austin Reeves, Marcus Smart, Jake LaRavia, Rhea Hachimura? I mean, Jackson Hayes
Possibly.
and DeAndre Jordan playing center. And then, of course, I mean, it's LeBron. LeBron's got you.
Right. And that's the thing is like the thing is too the weakness in Luca is not necessarily his own fault. It's the fact that he's been on teams that have significantly lacked scoring surrounding him. That's been the
Yeah.
biggest problem, and that's not truly a fault of his own. It is truly a fault of the makeup of the teams that he's played on, from the Lakers last season to all his time on Dallas. That's basically what's happened. That's been the MO how to beat teams that he's been on is let him do his thing and shut down everyone else. If he's on a team that's more balanced, it's not going to go that way. So that's what it takes, and possibly the Lakers are doing that. They are well coached. They have a better looking roster going into this season. I don't think it's going to come together. I'm with you. I really think the Clippers are a scary looking team. I mean, I have bets on actually Dallas to win it all. If they don't, I really honestly see the Clippers being the team to come out of the West. That's kind of what I see.
Uh-oh. Is
Yeah.
it me? Did I freeze? I don't know what's going on.
Yes.
Life doesn't like
Yes.
me anymore. I was doing well, and then, but, yeah. I don't think I'll freeze again. I just switched over from like uh I switched over to the Wi-Fi. Let's just put
That's
it
good.
was no more
There you
data.
go. Nice. But yeah, that's kind of what's going on. But to be honest, I think the Clippers are definitely the better team in the state of California, and also the team that I truly think will probably come out of the West. I bet on Dallas. I like them, but man, seeing that makeup of the Clippers is just scary. That's a scary team, to be honest.
Yeah, those off-season moves have been kind of insane.
Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
I think they're very well made up. Super deep, probably one of the deepest teams I may have ever seen going into a season.
right. I mean, you got James Harden and Chris Paul and Chris Dunn. Whoo, I'm gonna sneeze. Sorry. Bradley Beal, Kawhi Leonard, Derek Jones, John Collins,
Yep,
Batum, Zubac, and Lopez.
yep. That's a mix of size and scoring. Pretty much all around good looking team right there.
Yeah, what can you do with that type of team?
Yeah, I mean, if you got a team like that, I mean, I think you're going to go toe to toe with just about everyone in the NBA. You're going to have to be able to swap guys in and out with that many guys that are good, and also kind of pushing their age, to be honest, as well. So having a deep roster like that, I think it's going to give Lou Williams a really really nice team to play with. And once he figures out those rotations, they're going to be really, really hard to stop. You're going to have fresh legs coming in every single substitution.
Yeah, not to be confused with Tyrone Lou. I'm just messing.
Tyrone Lewis. Yes. Yes, that's
Sweet
it.
lemon pepper Lou is a whole different ball game. Lou
Ah,
Williams.
yes.
At one point, and I'm not even making this up. When I was younger, people thought he was my doppelganger.
Oh, that's fair.
I
That's
was
fair,
like,
man.
oh, all right. I didn't have
All right.
glasses. I was a
Yeah,
good
totally.
looking young man back then.
Nice. Nice. But yeah, I mean, I like Tyrone Lue. I think he's one of the smartest coaches I've seen. I just watched the way he works, seeing his mind, how he's coaching on timeouts, seeing how he's bringing guys in and out of the game. He's really really smart. I think didn't he play with LeBron way back in the day in Cleveland?
I believe Cleveland. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. He just
Yeah, he
always
played
seemed
a
like a
long
really good
time.
shooting guard.
Point
Yeah.
guard.
Oh yeah, yeah. Point guard. So yeah, if he runs the point, he knows how to run an offense. That's pretty much what you're going to get with a guy like that. So I like what he brings. I just think I mean pretty much he's had pretty strong seasonal success getting into the playoffs and going I think as far as the Western Conference Finals, losing to Denver a few years back. But man, he can totally take a team to the playoffs, and you have an owner who's willing to shell out any amount of money to make it happen. So that's what you need.
Didn't he coach LeBron to a title in Cleveland?
Uh,
Am I wrong?
yes, yeah.
Okay.
You may or may not be wrong on that. Yeah,
No.
I believe he did. I absolutely believe he did.
My
Yep.
brain's like kind of halfway working, and now I'm like, oh man, I should probably look that up.
Yeah, but I mean, I do remember him coaching in Cleveland with LeBron after kind of playing with him for a bit. So, yeah, it did work. It did result in something, and I think both teams are going to be probably about top five in the West going into next season. I truly see that.
2016, yeah, got the title in
Nice,
2016.
nice. Yeah,
So,
that's pretty solid.
more importantly, well, I'm not gonna say more importantly, but
Yep.
on a very serious note, WNBA had their All Star game a couple weeks ago. There's been a
Yeah.
lot of talk, a lot of chatter about what Kelsey Plum said during a press conference, all types of stuff. Have you seen these shirts?
Oh, yeah, yeah. I've seen it. They're the thing is they don't have the leverage for it. They're in a league that has yet to ever make a profit. They're a subsidy of the NBA. Things are moving in the right direction where they will have the leverage at some point, but they are not in that position that they have the leverage now. If they go on strike, literally right now, no one will watch. And if no one watches their games, they don't make money. That's really what
Right.
it comes down to. And the two women you have pretty much on your side between Caitlin Clark
Yeah.
and Angel Reese, that's your money makers. Those are the two most recognizable WNBA athletes in the entire sport. Is those two women, and you need those women out on the court as much as possible. And they are moving in the right direction. They now fly privately, whereas before they flew commercial with everyday people. So they're just beginning to move in the right direction. The salary that Caitlin Clark is pulling in that's helping everyone else. And them helping everyone else allows them to help get more TV deals. So I know they have a deal going on with Ion, which I believe is owned by CBS, if I'm
Yeah.
correct. But they need to have something that is more heavier. I think there might be something in the works with either ESPN or Amazon. That's what you need. You ultimately, every sports league succeeds and fails with the TV streaming media deals. That's where the money is. That's how you make money as a league, whether it's college or pro. Just ask the Pac-12 network. They struggled with money. They collapsed. Now the WNBA has their games on various networks, but and so does the NBA actually coming this upcoming season. But if you really find your niche where you're on a network that is really going to pay, that's how you're going to make the most money that benefits your players. Beyond that, these women do not have the leverage. And that was case in point with last year's Summer Olympics when there was no Caitlin Clark and there was no Angel Reese. No one cared. By the way, your boy just changed shirts.
I had to. I had
That's
to.
debate.
That I was wearing that shirt over this shirt because it felt icky. I'm sorry.
Nasty.
The Lakers,
Yeah.
the Lakers just felt icky.
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, that's the thing is that everyone thought that people would watch WNBA or U.S. Olympic women's basketball games. No one did. They had terrible ratings and they suffered. And to be honest, it kind of carried throughout the year until Caitlin Clark got going. I don't know how these ratings are without her not being out there, but her being at the All-Star game definitely still brought in the eyeballs. So that's where they're at. They're at a position where they're making a statement, but they clearly do not have the leverage, and they do not see that. And they're gonna have to figure that out in order to get the results they need. And it's gonna be a fight, but it's gonna be a fight that you have to win battle after battle, and you're gonna have to see growth and see how things go. But you're truly a subsidy of the NBA, and you have not made a profit. So they're expanding, which is great, but they need to make a profit.
All right. I'm ready for you. All right. I actually took notes. Check this out.
Okay.
The money's expanding. We got the aces. All right. So when Mark Davis bought him, your boy Mark Davis, $2 million to buy a team, to start a team.
Yep.
2 years ago, the Valkyries, $50 million to get their expansion team off the floor.
Okay.
These three new teams, Cleveland, Detroit, and Philly, all had to spend $250 million. So 5 times as much as 2 years ago. So then we get that revenue talk. The NBA players get 49% of the revenue, and then the WNBA only gets 9.3%, which is kind of weird. Yeah. And that's kind of what they're talking about, giving them what they're owed, that type of thing. Now, will they get to 49? Probably not. But even if they got 25, 30%, that would still be quite a boost. Now, on top of that, if you put in 3 more teams, you're going to have more games, and then you're going to get a new TV deal because you have more games to sell.
Gotcha.
So I put like a little bit of what I've actually heard people say, like the WNBA is their summer job because they make more money overseas because it's a longer season. They come here, they play in the summer. So the new CBA would have to have like a priority clause making the season longer, which then would say, hey, I don't know if you remember. Oh man, that was a long time ago, maybe 15 years ago or so, 10 years ago. Diana Taurasi actually sat out the WNBA season.
Yep.
To play in Russia.
Yep.
Give or take. So we look at stuff like that. Obviously, Brittany Griner, Russia. Bad juju in the air, right? Speaking, Juju Watkins coming in next year.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, I'm really gonna sneeze. My allergies are really bugging me right now.
Gotcha.
So if you look at the value of the top 5 teams, Golden State is the most valuable team in the league.
And they're new. The brand's
so these 3 new teams may even exceed that. So Golden State's at 500 million. The New York Liberty, who are a championship contender, 420 million. Indiana's at 335, which obviously Caitlin Clark's there. Vegas is at 290. So remember, Mark Davis bought him for $2 million. That's kind of
Dang,
crazy. Yeah,
that's
like think of the
that's a hundred
profit going.
x.
Yeah,
More,
and then
yeah, more like 250.
Seattle, Seattle, who everyone's like, oh man, we need an NBA team. They're worth 285 million because they're the only show in town. So, and then the last thing I got down there, the players are not divided. A lot of people thought like Kelsey Plum said some pretty reckless stuff in her press conference with Sabrina, but all 40 players were at that meeting that were in the during the All-Star game. And then yeah, she made jokes, but all 40 players wore the shirts and they're a
Absolutely.
united front, even though people like to think, oh, they're bashing Caitlin Clark, they're doing that. Yeah, there might be a little bit of that on
Yep.
the in the games,
Yep.
but behind closed doors, they're all on the same page trying to get more money.
Yeah, absolutely. And you showing that actually shows they do have the money. That's
Yep.
what it shows. Ultimately, it shows that they do have the money, they have the ability to pay. So now by showing that, the data suggests that they actually do have the leverage.
Yeah. And the profit part, a lot of the profit comes off of what you actually said.
Yep.
They don't have TV deals. Like their TV deals are horrible, right? They're piggybacking off the NBA, and then Ion. Who's watching Ion? Let's be honest, right?
Right.
Um, then they started getting some games on ESPN and CBS, and those games actually exploded a little bit. I think there were some games on ABC.
Yeah.
Boom, people
Yep.
watching. But at the same time, if they get some of this revenue to start going in,
Yeah.
um, I can't remember. I think it's like 4 or 5 stadiums are actually sold out like every game.
Great.
Um,
That's what it
and
takes.
right, and to be honest, I don't even think they care about ticket prices. I think they just care about that revenue from TV.
Oh yeah, and that's across probably almost every sport,
Every sport. Yep.
major sport that's in the U.S. by far. Yeah, it is all TV. All your big money is TV. Everything after that is just frosting on the cake.
Yeah.
That's every sport.
And it's weird because, people talk about, oh, no one's watching that, no one's doing this. So I look at a team like the Brewers in Milwaukee, right?
Yep.
They've started making the playoffs. They started doing Miller Park before it was AmFam was
It's
full
always
like
Miller Park.
right. They were one of the best at selling out their stadium
Attendance.
compared to some of these big market teams that would still make money, but they were hitting like 3-4 million or something. I like paid tickets or something at the end of the year. I forgot how the number was, but
Yeah.
at the same time, they were battling for a new network to show their games on. That's
Yes.
all they really cared about because they're like, hey, yeah, people say they're not paying for, I think it was Fox Sports Wisconsin at one point, then
Yep.
Bally Sports, now it's
Yep.
FanDuel Sports and all.
Yep.
Like, people are gonna pay that $20 a month to watch their Brewers. That's just how it goes.
Absolutely. Yeah, and ultimately that comes from the fallout of the monopoly that was declared on Fox. So then Fox had to divest their sports entity in order to allow the sale of everything besides Fox and Fox News, basically entities, to go to Disney. So Fox owns basically Fox News and all that stuff, and everything else went to Disney. With that being the case, Bally's Sports did what they did. Bally's is an Asian-based casino company at the end of the day, and their sports television deal essentially fell apart. And they
Yeah.
weren't cross nationwide; they were only in select markets, so it was a massive failure. With that being the case, uptick is sports betting in the United States over the last handful of years, so the last decade. And with that being the case, then FanDuel, DraftKings, all these new sports books, they have crazy amounts of money. And especially with fantasy football coming into season, that's where this all really comes from. FanDuel has the capital that they can say outright, we're going to take over Fox Sports Network's entire land base, basically. Everything, all the property they owned, they own. So FanDuel is across the nation. I can even tell you, too, when there's not Brewer games on, their television network is actually good. It's actually as good as what FS Wisconsin used to be. There are some very solid shows on FanDuel. You have was it Up and Adams with Kay
Oh,
Adams from Good Morning Football, and then you
yep.
have Golick and Golick, both Mike father son duel going on there. So that's
Ooh.
actually a really nice show. Both are really solid shows. They got that. They got some other smaller shows that are okay, but I honestly, if there isn't too much on, I mean, I of the networks that I watch on cable networks, I would say FanDuel is probably in my top 5.
Wow.
Yes, like FanDuel is actually legit. It's for me, I mean, outside of sports, I'd say it's FanDuel, Magnolia Network, NFL Network, Fox Business. Yeah, I mean those four are pretty much my go-to.
What is Magnolia?
Chip and Joanna Gaines. They're into like house remodeling spaces, and they're a couple that has built basically a fortune doing that to the point that they built a network. They built like their own little cool place down in Waco, Texas, and they are heavy boosters for Baylor Bears athletics, big time boosters. I mean, both the two of them, they're also going to be on this upcoming season of Shark Tank. They are billionaires. So
Sorry,
they're
I
cool,
mean,
super cool couple. Really cool show. I mean, I got some home stuff I'm working on too, and I kind of like seeing that stuff. I like seeing that idea, that creative home space idea, and pretty cool. But they also have a big thing going on with. I mean, they're big into Baylor sports as well, so big time sports fans. So I like that too. So yeah, actually, Magnolia Network is a pretty solid network. But if I'm into sports, it's pretty much either FanDuel or NFL Network, occasionally ESPN, but Fox Sports is actually pretty solid too. They got a nice lineup as well.
solid.
Yep.
What else you got?
What else I got? So we are getting closer to fantasy season. I actually just made my reservation tonight for our draft, so that's pretty cool. And we are honestly 3 weeks out from our 24 team draft. And I'm starting to go through. I mean, I know I'm drafting in the first round. It's kind of in the back third of our league, and comparing what I'm seeing at the top to what kind of like the middle of a draft can be. And I know every league format plays the same way, but I'll be honest. I mean, I really do see that, especially in the top 15 picks or so, there's some like legit debate and some legit injury concerns. And also, just in terms of capital, who you really want to take. I mean, I'll be honest. I really do feel that d- uh, there's really a heavy volume of running backs that you can get at almost any time in a draft. Whereas I do feel your high end pass catchers, whether they're wide receivers or almost like bona fide tight ends, there's not as many of them. I mean, there are wide receivers who can get you a score on any given week. There are wide receivers that have some pretty cool roles depending what they play, but they're not going to be your breadbasket money makers week in week out. There's maybe a few at the top that I see, and there are some others kind of scattered beyond that first round that I can kind of think of. But I'll be honest, I kind of think that toward depending what your league format is, if it's kind of standard like what you see on a football field, I kind of think that in the earlier rounds, getting a high end wide receiver or tight end might be the way to go.
Ooh, tight end. Now you're speaking my language.
Yes. I mean there's a lot of solid tight ends that I see out there in the NFL that I like, but there's more solid wideouts that like you got to get. And generally receiving is a little bit more sought after and harder and rarer to get than running backs. But and not only that, running back duties are split, so it's harder to get bell cows. Maybe you get some guy. I mean, it's a very slim amount, but then again, there's some other guys who are just awesome, and they're also getting more playing time, so that changes things too. There's almost 4 to 5 running backs that I think are just monsters that you don't have to get in the very first round. There's at least 5 I can easily think of right now, and that's Bucky Irving, Josh Jacobs, James Cook, Omarion Hampton, and KJ Harvey out of Denver. I think these 5 can just do it all. They can run the ball, they can catch the ball. Hampton's going to be a interesting one catching the ball, to be honest, but Omarion Hampton's going to have so much volume. Najee Harris kind of like hit himself in the face with a firework, so he's not going to be totally ready to go. He's not at the end of the day. I mean, Omarion's got the job, and he's a rookie. So, and the thing is too, that offense you play under Jim Harbaugh is going to be cooking. That is an offense that's going to find their way down the field and find their way down the field frequently. Now, are they going to have problems on defense? Maybe, but I think the Chargers are going to score and score a lot. I think Lad McConkey is one of the best wideouts that you can get. He's possibly going to be the best slot receiver in the NFL this upcoming season, and this will be his second year in the league. So I, that's what I'm seeing, man. I really think you got heavy value with wideouts and to some extent certain tight ends that you might want to get before you get a running back. But again, too, running backs are they can score in multiple facets. That's why a guy like even Lamar Jackson at quarterback is just insane. Lamar Jackson is clearly the best, in my opinion, the best overall quarterback in the NFL. The way he threw the ball last year was a significant step in his progression as a football player. I think he threw the ball at the best I think I've ever seen of his career last season, and to me that just speaks volumes of who he is as a player. And to me, I don't like that the MVP was a quarterback that wasn't Lamar Jackson last season. That wasn't okay.
I agree. I mean, the guy probably is going to get the LeBron effect that he could win it every year.
Yeah, and that's totally legit, and it's gonna to and definitely there's an aspect of this where Derrick Henry plays a factor. Derrick Henry is absolutely contributing to the success of Lamar Jackson, but then again, too, Lamar Jackson is getting better at making plays on the run. So that's where I see some Lamar Jackson play that's going on that really tells me that Lamar Jackson's growing actually, and he is at his best iteration of his career in this upcoming football season and what we saw last season as well. So to me, the ceiling's the limit with a guy like that I have more faith in than than a guy like Josh Allen who is willing to sacrifice his.
Oh no! What the?
But I'm back, and you're
Yeah.
back, and
Yep.
that's Nodb8sports.
You're back. Yep.
There you go.
I have no idea what's going. I was trying to put up the rankings for quarterbacks, and then it came up really
Yes.
small, and I'm like, "What the heck?"
I know.
It's
It,
even tough for me to see.
it
We're gonna
is.
get rid of that.
But I mean, ultimately, I mean, if I had to just give a football to a quarterback and tell them go score a touchdown to win me a game, I'm probably going Joe Burrow. But
Yeah,
but in real in fantasy life, with how you score with your legs and your arm, the person who is the best at that in both worlds, in real life and fantasy life, is Lamar Jackson.
true story. I mean, Lamar is just kind of he's almost a cheat code. Like, if
Totally.
you're looking at fantasy, um, they're starting to think that Jaden Daniels and Jalen Hurts and guys like that can move up a little bit, but I'm I'm sorry. I don't think so. Lamar Jackson's just like he's in a world of his own. I mean, he ran
Yes.
for 1,000 yards, threw for like 40 touchdowns, throws
Yeah.
for 4,000 yards. Like
Yeah.
what exactly can you get from this guy? You know what I mean?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, the guy can do it all. He can do it all around. And not only that, I truly do think that one thing people have said is he hasn't developed wide receivers, but he has developed Zay Flowers. He has
Yep.
developed Isaiah Likely, clearly.
Yeah.
So the guy is developing people. I think, I mean, even with I even want to say like Deshaun Jackson was there for a hot minute. I do think that like they can do things on offense now and actually get more people incorporated on that offense because of the ability that Lamar Jackson is starting to bring. So I think the sky's the limit. They're going to bring out 12 personnel. They're going to bring out Derrick Henry. And even when they bring in the change of pace back behind Derrick Henry, that guy's good too. So I like the style of play that this team can roll out there, and I truly think that they can do some really good things this upcoming season. So depending on your league, I'll be honest. If you take Lamar Jackson number one overall, I don't think it's a bad idea at all. This is a guy
Yeah.
that does have a 99 rating in Madden for
Uh
that
oh.
exact reason. For
Is
that
that what we
exact
want?
reason.
Pause, timeout, flag on the field. We're not talking real football here. We're talking fantasy football.
Oh,
The Madden ratings. Did you know that there are more than a handful of guys that are a 99 this year?
um,
Did you know
okay.
that?
I did not know that. I will tell you if you
Did you
bring
see
that
it?
up again. Yeah, if you bring that up again, I would say that I could see a handful. I'm going to say that I don't believe that Josh Allen and Saquon Barkley should be at 99. I
Ooh,
think they should
I'm
be
gonna
like
say
just about there, but close, but not 99.
I'm gonna say Saquon, yes, not Josh Allen. There, like,
Right.
I understand having multiple wide receivers, but there shouldn't be multiple quarterbacks. There's one like I don't know what the narrative is here about Josh Allen, but it's like, man, you don't win playoff games when they
No.
matter. You
Yep.
don't put up like ridiculous stats in um the regular season. Like, what
Right.
exactly are we doing here? Putting Josh
Right.
Allen up as a 100 or a top quarterback in the NFL. Now, all right, I'm gonna. All right, time to bash some Josh Allen. All right, are you ready for
Yeah,
this?
I'll put him top five, but I'm putting him at three.
So, Josh Allen, if you just go off of yards last year, you want to take a guess where he was?
Yardage last season, I would say probably fourth.
14th,
14th?
3,731 yards. There were six guys that threw for 4,000, and he wasn't one of them.
Mm, that's concerning.
Very. All right, all right. We're cooking here. We're cooking here. What about
That's very
touchdowns?
concerning.
What do you think he had for touchdowns?
I'd say overall touchdowns, maybe fifth between passing and rushing.
Okay, maybe overall, but I'm just going off of passing. He had just as many passing touchdowns as Aaron Rodgers, 28, and they were both seventh in the league.
Right. Yeah, I mean
Um,
that's fair.
So now we're going to talk about his rushing. Yeah, he had 12 rushing touchdowns. That gave him ninth in the league. But at the same time, the guy only ran 31 yards a game. It wasn't like he
Yeah.
was just taking off running and doing a bunch of, cool things.
Yeah. No, he's got
And
like a Roethlisberger style to him.
yep. So like I understand people want to say he's a dual threat and all this. He had
Not
500
really.
rushing yards. Like
Yeah. He's not a guy
that,
that'll just take off and like end all be all. I mean, he's a guy who'll take off and take a hit and likely come out okay on the other side of that hit. At some point he won't though.
right. Now Lamar had 904 or 900 yards and four touchdowns. So now let's just be that guy. Let's talk about yards per game. How about
Sure.
that?
Yep.
Wow, I can't even find him. He's below Joe Flacco, Bo Nix, Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray, Aaron Rodgers. Like, it's 219 yards a game. Is that an MVP to you?
No, no, not at all. And I feel like that was a narrative. That was a narrative pushed by ESPN to
Yeah.
just give it to Josh Allen. It really was. I mean, I know in the realm of schemes how ESPN leans, and when they want to lean to a certain narrative, they're going to do it, and they believe it is the one that pushes the dollar signs the most.
Now,
Josh Allen is really good. Is he
yeah.
otherworldly? I can't say that. I'd say he still has some weird funks that are kind of weird for a guy that is that good. I just don't see it. To me, I think the catalyst that's really taking that team to the next level is honestly James Cook. Until they've really had a really
Mhm.
good running game and a really good running back like that, that offense hasn't been able to do the full thing that it's able to do. With James Cook and Josh Allen, it can do things.
Right.
So I granted I do enjoy watching Josh Allen play. It's pretty cool. It's fun to watch. But I don't think it's the greatest thing ever. I when I see Joe Burrow, I'm like, dang, that guy is like legendary, all time great. Lamar Jackson, legendary, all time great. Josh Allen's really good. That I'll give him that. But I don't think he is a guy that, to be honest, 20 years from now, we're really going to think is all that good.
I agree.
If his results are what they are now, we're just gonna say he had some good games.
So now I agree completely 100%. So I was actually listening to the Four Letter Network today. I had some time. I think I was watching First Take.
Okay.
Um, and Stephen A was defending Aaron Rodgers of all people, right? Which I thought the whole world hated Aaron Rodgers. Now, mind
I
you, I don't
ESPN
talk
loves
about
him. I'll
his.
tell you that. They
They,
absolutely are pushing the narrative that the Steelers are actually going to be a good football team this year.
they love him for the ratings, and they can talk about him because he's a lightning rod, right?
Yes.
But you look at last year. So I had someone literally, and it was funny that this came up today on their show. But I had someone talk to me about sports the other day, and he goes, "Oh, like Aaron Rodgers was horrible last season, and this,
That's not
that, and the
true.
other."
That's
Right?
definitely not true.
I literally was like, okay, so Aaron Rodgers threw for 3,900 yards. We just
Right.
talked about it. Josh Allen was at 3,731.
Yep.
Rodgers was eighth in the league. Seventh was Patrick Mahomes. Josh Allen was 14th.
Yes.
Touchdown. They have the exact same touchdowns. Yards
Yes.
per game. Rodgers is way above them. Then now, yeah, Rodgers had 11 interceptions to Josh Allen's like five,
Yeah.
six. So was it really that far off? No, not really. I mean,
No.
Aaron Rodgers was down there. He had the exact same numbers as Patrick Mahomes.
Okay.
28 and 11. Patrick Mahomes had 26 and 11. People talked as if Aaron Rodgers was the worst thing going. And remember, the Jets were a dumpster fire. Now, you tell me how a guy like Patrick Mahomes, who had literally the exact same numbers, he was eighth in QBR, and Aaron Rodgers is, oh man, I can't even find him. Where is he? Oh, he's 25th. I'm like, wait a minute, what? Josh Allen is second in QBR. And
Yeah.
I
QBR is a weird stat. It's not totally legit, and I've heard people say that.
now here's another one. So Aaron Rodgers had more yards than Jordan Love. He had the exact same completion percentage, 63 to 63.1.
Yep.
Aaron Rodgers had the same number of interceptions, 11. He
Yep.
had more touchdowns. Jordan Love's QBR is fifth in the league. Aaron Rodgers is 25th.
Yeah, it's bizarre. QBR is a very weird stat. I'll tell you that. Ultimately, I mean, I think what we look at as a whole is we kind of look at fantasy at least passing numbers, I think
Yeah.
is a better, if you can actually take the fantasy scoring and implement that to how you rate passing, at least on the passing side, not the rushing side. I think if you do that, you're going to get a better overall story of how good people are at quarterback. So when we think about that, we honestly think that somewhere between 250 to 300 is actually an okay day for throwing a football yardage, and then basically 2 to 3 touchdowns and maybe 1 to 0 interceptions is what you want. If you do
Yep.
that kind of mix, it's actually a pretty good day for throwing a football. And then what you add rushing is just frosting on the cake again.
Mhm.
So I think that's kind of what it should be. That's what people should go after. The thing is, you gotta realize too, the Jets were in some weird games that didn't really make sense. So I really do wonder how efficient they were, because if you did have Rodgers last season, he did his thing, then it why were they not able to do their thing on defense? And ultimately that comes back to the offense. Tells me that they were in games last year that probably a lot of those results were in games that didn't matter.
Yep.
And that's when defenses that Rodgers was up against, that's probably when they took their foots off the brake and started playing prevent defense. So in garbage time. So there's some weird stuff there. And again, to the movements that they've made with that team, I just think that defense is really lacking. And now that the season's long, Rodgers is up there in age. These are things that really aren't under his control that I can't really hold him against. I just think the season's not going to go well, based off of what's going on with other things on the Steelers. And I think that could end up really ending his season quicker than what's expected. I really think too, like, there's a good chunk of their first half of the season, which is kind of not the hardest games to play, but then the second half of their season is really, really tough. And I think that's where you could see Rodgers start to run into some issues. But that being said, I just don't think this team's really good. I do not think this is a good NFL team. I think this will be one of the worst teams in the NFL. And I also think that with the draft being next year, I'll put this out there. This is a team that I would actually bet some money on before you see the upcoming college football season. I think they have an idea of who they want, and there is a Ben Roethlisberger prototype coming into the league next season, and I think Pittsburgh wants him. I know Arch Manning's the name, but there is a quarterback for Penn State that I think that is the team that you need to bet on to win the college football playoff, or just to win the whole college football championship. I think Penn State's going to be just a bruiser, and the quarterback they got there now, man, that guy is big, and he can throw an absolute crossbow across his body to complete a pass if he's taking some hits. I mean, this guy's got a heck of an arm that very few people can make these kind of throws. If you're looking at a guy with size and toughness, I think he's the one that a team like Pittsburgh is thinking that, like, that's our franchise quarterback. If we can get that guy with the draft in Pittsburgh, a Penn State native, that's a big pull, man. And I think that's what they're going to try to pull in. And again, too, my gut tells me Aaron's not going to make it through the season. I think he's going to have a devastating injury that kind of Carson Palmer-ish, where things are going good and they're going in the right direction, and then boom, it's over. When Carson Palmer got hurt in the playoffs against the Panthers, that was it. It was over. I think that's going to happen.
Are we looking at Drew Aller, 6'5",
Yes.
235?
Yes. Yeah, that quarterback of Penn State right now, that's a guy. Like, that is a guy who's going to make some plays, and when he comes to the NFL, he's going to be like the next kind of Josh Allen kind of guy.
Yeah, I mean, 2023, he had 2,600, 25 and 2. 2024, he had 3,300, 24, and 8. Real solid player.
Solid numbers, man. Real
I
solid
mean,
numbers.
6'5", 235. That's wow.
Yep. Yep. So, I mean, I saw a highlight of him taking a hit in the pocket, and then he throws the ball across his body past like two people for a touchdown. It's like, dang, that's a scary throw, man. That guy is scary. I mean, Arch Manning's got some good stuff. He might be better than Drew Aller for sure, but that Penn
Um,
State guy, that might be the guy you want.
and just to throw the Rodgers thing in the trash here, uh, the Jets actually lost 7 one-score games. I mean, they lost to Denver, playoff team, Minnesota, playoff team, Buffalo, playoff team. Then they had a loss to New England,
Okay.
Indy, by a combined 4 points. They lost
Okay.
to Seattle, who was basically on the verge of a playoff team. They lost an overtime game, and then they lost to the Rams at Buffalo at the end. And I mean,
Right.
like their games. I mean, they could have easily won a couple of those and been, a fringe 10-win team.
Yeah, I mean, I do think the Jets are actually a good roster. Now they had some weird coaching stuff. Rodgers is not a cohesive kind of guy, to be honest. I think that does play a part in like rallying the troops and getting guys out there who want to really fight for you. And I do think that will play an issue again with Pittsburgh. But again, too, I think there's just bigger forces at play that are much harder to deal with than what he's going through. I just think the surrounding team and the surrounding cast that he has with the Steelers is just not as good. It is not as good as that surrounding cast was for Russell Wilson and Justin Fields last season. They had much better players surrounding them that actually worked better than what they have for this season for Rodgers. So you have probably a better overall quarterback, but a way lesser team that he's dealing with. And I just don't think that's going to be enough for them to come up with. I really don't think things are going to work. And not only that, his lack of mobility. The biggest thing in this too is like you've completely unproven at left tackle. If that left tackle ain't that great, uh boy, it's gonna be a short season for Rodgers.
I don't know, man. Jalen Warren, DK Metcalf, Calvin Austin, and Robert Woods. You got some vets.
Yeah, you do, but you're also in a division with Lamar Jackson. You got Joe Burrow, who's gonna be lights out. Um, they're gonna play some ugly games. I'll tell you that the games are gonna be pretty ugly. I just don't think they're going to be cutting their way up and down the field, man. I mean, I might be proven wrong on this, but I just don't feel good about this team. My gut tells me that this is not going to be a good football team. I mean, I liked what they had going for them last season, and it worked. They got to the playoffs. They had a much better surrounding cast for that football team. Now they just keep getting older. They keep doubling down on defense. The running backs I think they're okay. I really I like Jalen Warren. I don't think he's great. The Iowa guy, I don't think he's great. And that I mean, you're asking that Iowa guy to play a lot more games out of the gate, and DK Metcalf can only run in straight line. So Pat Freiermuth is great. I like Pat. Um, Calvin Austin's okay. It's I mean I like Darnell Washington, who's going to basically be a faux pas offensive lineman to a degree, but there's going to be a
What
lack
about
of
Scotty
creativity.
Miller? No love
Who?
for Scotty Miller.
Yeah, I like Scotty too, but it doesn't matter how fast that guy runs. If he doesn't have protection, he can't go deep. And yeah, and not only that, you also have conflict between the core concepts of Arthur Miller and the core concepts of Aaron Rodgers. They're completely polar opposites. One likes motion and basically what is it, play action post snap, and the other likes no motion and no play action. So you have complete polar opposites of how you're going to call an offense. I mean, if Arthur Smith, actually, I think is his name, if Smith can actually be the guy to make it happen, then so be it. But I just think there's so many things working against the cohesion of how this offense is going to work. I don't see it happening.
So this is going to be our battle the entire year. It's going to be, is Aaron Rodgers good or not?
I mean,
Are
he
the
might be
Pittsburgh
okay.
Steelers good or not?
I think he's okay, but the thing is, even the quarterbacks you think that are kind of okay and good can still be in the bottom 10 of the NFL. I mean, there's only
Is,
30 guys that can play quarterback in the NFL, and only 10 of them are elite, to be
are,
honest.
is
So it
DK
doesn't really.
Metcalf washed?
No, he's not washed. It's
No,
just that
I'm just
he
making, I'm
doesn't.
making fun.
I know. I mean, I actually do like DK over the last 2 seasons, but DK is not going to really open up your offense. If they had George Pickens, that would have done it. I think having George Pickens there would have absolutely made a difference.
I thought they were
And
going to keep
then
both.
yeah, I think if they had George Pickens and maybe another um, kind of explosive tight end, kind of like how my Raiders have Michael Myers and Brock Bowers, if they had someone more pass catching explosive alongside Pat Fryermuth, I think that changes things. I think that plus George Pickens would have done it. Right now, I'm not seeing it with this team, man. I'm
Yeah,
just not there. There's a bunch of players on this team that I just see playing, and I'm like, I even in fantasy, I don't think I want any of those guys.
man, I agree. I'm just making jokes. We're at some
Totally.
point we're going to figure out if any of these guys are good.
Right.
Speaking of good, this is completely random. I know we only got a couple more minutes before we're done
Yep.
here. Does the name Isaiah Simmons mean anything to you?
Not that I can think of.
See, and that's what I thought too. Nobody remembers this guy. But now here's the kicker.
Okay.
Isaiah Simmons, I want to say he was a top 5 pick. Now, I could be wrong. Give me 1 second.
Sure.
He was out of Clemson. Why is it not telling me what round he was picked in here? Or
Okay.
he was a first round pick. But yeah, he was number 8 by the Arizona Cardinals in 2020.
Okay.
He was the linebacker, like safety hybrid that ended up going to the Giants. Did you know that the Green Bay Packers picked this guy up as a uh like almost like a reclamation project?
No.
And now he
No.
is literally killing in training camp.
Okay. Okay. And this is a defensive player, right?
Yeah, he's a linebacker. Sorry.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, I mean, getting value out of a guy like that to play linebacker, which is probably your number one position in players that actually make tackles on
Yeah.
defense, is pretty big.
And that's a pretty big need for the Packers. Yeah, I just saw this like he's killing in camp and I'm like, when did this guy get on our team? Apparently
Yeah,
in like April, but it was one of those under the radar signings.
that's perfect, man. Yeah, I mean, you
Yeah.
get a guy like that works. That totally works.
What do you got in the last handful of minutes here? Anything you want to just randomly throw off your chest?
Randomly, I don't know. I mean, I am kind of kicking around defenses in my league, and I do love having those clutch defenses that you can basically draft and draft them way late. So when I think of that this year, I mean, I haven't. I posted this in a social media post a while back, but basically, you want to make up what you think the worst divisions are on offense. And if I had to do that, then you would want to pair your defense with a schedule that plays against those teams. And just kind of off the top of my head, I really think that generally the entire AFC East, that's not the Buffalo Bills, I'm not too scared of. Like I'm really not. I think half of the AFC North is not that scary. I think half of the AFC South is the same way as well. And when I go to the NFC, what division do I think is kind of lackluster in offense, and it might be half of the NFC South. But I wouldn't be shocked, to be honest, if like the NFC West isn't that great on offense. Um, I don't know, man. I know there's a lot of hype on the Rams. Rams got a really nice defense, but what if the season? I mean, already Matt Stafford's got a tightness in his back. What if they don't have either Puka Nakua or Devontae Adams at some point? I'm a little concerned about the longevity of the Rams, to be honest. I'll be honest, man. I saw a little bit of training camp footage of Christian McCaffrey yesterday. That that to me, that guy's checked out. He does not look good. He is totally in dad mode, and congrats to him off the field doing that. But he just does not look like he's in it. I would say if you can find a defense that can play against certain aspects of the AFC, but then totally crosses paths with the NFC West, that is the defense I would be looking for.
Ooh,
Yes,
that's no debate right there.
absolutely. So play around with that. I mean, defense to me is more of an art, and I think you can be damaged more by drafting a defense you think is great early than a defense that is kind of good late. That is, I've learned that over the years. That is totally the way it works.
Oh, you heard it
Yep.
here first.
You heard it here first, and that's how you select a defense. And that's it for the week, guys. I'm Steve Metrics. That's your boy,
DJ Triggs.
and that's no debate.